Hi there, Jared Doherty is my name. I'm the mentor for the sustainable energy communities in the Dublin City region. And I'm here today to talk to you about a scheme whereby you can get fully funded energy upgrades to your home, fully funded by the state. I'm going to talk you through what the scheme is about, and then I'm going to talk through how you can apply online for this scheme. And it takes about maybe 10 or 12 minutes to go through that process that I'm going to show you today. So first of all, I'm going to talk you through the details of the scheme. So as I mentioned, it's called the Warmer Homes Scheme. It's a fully funded scheme whereby the state pays for your home to be upgraded. And it applies to people who are in receipt of one of the following allowances. Could be the fuel allowance as part of the National Fuel Scheme, or the job seekers allowance for over 6 months, and if you have a child under 7 years of age. Could be the working family payment, one parent family payment, or the domiciliary care allowance. Or it could be carer's allowance and live with the person you're caring for, or it could be that you're on disability allowance for over 6 months and have a child under 7 years of age. So if you tick any of those boxes, you are entitled to apply for this scheme, but you must also own and live in your own home, which was built and occupied before 2006. So just some detail on the actual scheme itself. The available energy upgrades that you can get to your home include attic insulation. So if you have 50 millimeters or 100 millimeters or no insulation in your attic, they will apply up to 300 millimeters. That's about a foot of insulation in your attic. You can get wall insulation. That could be external wall insulation. It could be internal wall insulation, what we used to call dry lining. Or it could be insulation pumped into the cavity between the inside block and the outside break or block of your home, if you have a cavity. It will also cover other measures, including lagging jackets, draft proofing, ventilation, and energy efficient lighting. And it also may cover heating upgrades, which could be a new heating system, or it could be controls, improved controls on your heating system. And they may also cover window replacements, particularly if you've got single glazing, they're likely to cover window replacements. And it's delivered through a panel of private contractors who are paid by the SEAI. So as I mentioned, this must be your own home. You must own and live in your own home, and it must be your principal main residence. And your home must have been built and occupied before the 1st of January 2006. The way the process works is, first of all, you make your application. And as I said, that takes about 10 minutes, and we'll go through that in a moment. You fill out the application form online. You supply the supporting documents to support your application, to support your application. Then, if you're eligible, if the SEAI deems you as eligible, then they send somebody out to survey your property. They assess what measures make sense for your property. They do a BER in your home, unless it already has a BER. And then they go back to SEAI and recommend those measures. Then SEAI will appoint a contractor to take on this job. They'll come out to the home. They'll look at the measures suggested by the surveyor. They'll agree the measures that are most appropriate for you with you. And then they will take on the job and deliver the job. And at the end of it, the SEAI do a spot checks on the work that's done. And they also do a BER assessment. And all of that is paid for by SEAI. Now, just to mention a caveat to this is that there's a backlog in this scheme at the moment because, well, one of the reasons is during COVID, no homes could be done and people were still applying. And also, there's increased demand for this, particularly since energy prices went up. So there is a bit of a backlog. So typically, before you get somebody to survey your home, typically it takes around 10 months. And then before you get the whole job done, it takes another about 10, 11 months after the survey is done. So it could take 21 months to get that done. But if you apply now, and if you're accepted, that means that the job could be done and dusted, or should be done and dusted before the end of 2025, or give or take. If your house is an E, an F, or a G building energy rating, they tend to prioritize those houses. If it's a C or a D, they tend to, they don't get the same level of priority. So now I'm going to talk you through how to make the application. I'm just going to stop sharing that presentation, and I'm going to move on to the to show you the website where you apply. And again, I'm going to share my screen, share screen. Just one moment. So if you go to your Google search bar and you type in SEAI.ie, it'll bring you to this welcome page on the SEAI site. So then up here, your first tab is home energy. You click on that. Then your first tab here is home energy upgrades. You click on that. And the first tab here is home energy upgrades overview, and you click on that. And that brings you to a new page, which is home energy upgrades. And if you scroll down on this page, you'll come to the 3 different types of grant schemes. And what we're talking about today is the fully funded energy upgrade, so also called the Warmer Homes. Funded by SEAI, includes the home survey. They pay for the home survey, they select the contractor, they pay for the contractor to do the works, and they pay for the follow-up BEO. So just click here to check your eligibility, and it'll bring you to the page for the fully funded energy upgrades. And if you scroll down here and go into applicants may now apply online here and click on that, and it brings you into the application system. So before you start, you need to have your personal public services number. You need to have your MPRN, which is an 11-digit number located on the top right-hand side of your electricity bill, not your gas bill now, but your electricity bill. And you have to show proof of owning your home, which is dated within the last 12 months. That could be a mortgage statement in your name, in the name of the applicant, home insurance policy in the name of the applicant, local property tax letter, and utility bill, again, in the name of the applicant, title deeds in the name of the applicant, or if, for instance, your title deeds are in the name of your husband or your wife, then you have to show your marriage certificate as well, or it could be solicitor's letter certifying that you live and own and live in this home. And then you have to be entitled to the qualifying social welfare payment. But the system is automatically linked to the social welfare office, so they can check automatically whether you're entitled or not. You don't have to show any evidence of those social welfare payments because the system automatically checks that. So once you have your MPRN, your PPSN, and your proof of owning your home dated within the last 12 months, then you apply online and you put in your MPRN. So I'm going to put in my MPRN here. And if I click then check my MPRN, it'll look to check the address for my MPRN. And then, when you go to put in your proof of owning your home, it'll check that it's the same address as the MPRN. So I'm going to click check my MPRN, and it'll take about 30 seconds, and then it'll flash up my MPRN address, and it'll go through to the next screen. And there's only 5 screens that we have to go through, so it's pretty quick. So there's my address. And here comes the next screen. So I'm not entitled to this Warmer Home Scheme. So I'm going to put in the name of somebody, a friend of mine who is, and gave him permission to use her name. So I'm going to put in her last name, I'm going to put in her PPSN, and I'm going to put in her date of birth, and then I'm going to click the validate button. And validate, it'll see if she's entitled to this scheme, to those payments which qualify her for the scheme. And if she's not, then it'll send me a message. It'll say a message down the end of the screen saying you're not entitled. And then you have to kind of, decide what you're going to do about that. Maybe you need to contact the social welfare office. Maybe you should be entitled to these allowances, but you're not getting them for some reason, and you need to apply to the social welfare office to sort that out. But if you are entitled, it'll bring you on to the next screen. Now, I'm going to briefly stop sharing so they can put in this data to her data, so that in terms of PPSN, I don't want to share it on this video. I'll just pause for a moment. Okay, I've done that. It's brought me to the next screen. So I'm 40% done now. I need to put in her mobile number. Anywhere you see an asterisk, you need to fill in that box. If you don't see an asterisk, you don't have to bother with it. I don't have to fill in a landline address line too. It already has my address from my MPRN. You have to put in your error code in capitals. The letters have to be in capitals. Has my tenure, has my address. Now, you could also decide if you're not comfortable dealing with the SEAI on this work and you want to get a son, a daughter, a brother, a sister, whoever to do it for you, you can nominate that person. And after you are approved for the grant, then they take over everything. Basically, they send everything on to your son or daughter, whoever. So I'm not going to select that, but you can and put in their email address so that they can look after it for you. So I'm happy now. My house isn't on an island. And then I'm going to hit next. And next brings me on to 12 questions about your home. And this is just so they can have some idea what's going on in your home. It's not, it doesn't matter if you get one or two of them wrong. Just, give your best estimate. So you know that you're using gas to heat your room, probably if you're in Dublin, for instance, and you're using gas probably for hot water. Maybe I have a factory fitted tank insulation. I am in a large town or city. My house is built in the late 40s. It's a semi-D. I do have a chimney. I don't have a porch. I don't have solar panels for hot water. I don't use the electric immersion. I'm going to say I receive electricity allowance. And I'll say there's 3 people living in the house. And I'll say that nobody's in employment. But anyway, you just fill that in honestly for yourselves. And then there's 3 boxes here. You just need to tick the first one. You can ignore the second 2. You don't need to tick them, but you do need to confirm that you read the scheme and application guidelines. And of course, before you apply, read the scheme and application guidelines because they're available here or they're available on the website. And you should read them before you apply. And then I click next. And then I'm into the last screen. I'm 80%. So it's actually 5 screens. I'm 80%. And all I need to do now is upload in my case, I'm going to use my home insurance policy. So what I can do is I'll take my home insurance policy here. It has my address, which corresponds to the address of the NPRN. It has my name on it. But what I do is I take a picture of the insurance policy and I email that to myself. I take the picture, I'll click on it, and then I email that picture to myself. And then what I do is I go into my Gmail account and I'll download that picture and I'll save it to a file. And then I go and look for that file. Wherever I've saved it, I choose file and I look for the photo. And let's just pick this photo here. I'm happy. And now everything's gone green. And if everything goes green, that means you have nothing else to do. So if I had clicked, say, the title deeds, I might have had to put in my marriage certificate or something like that. But in my case, my home insurance policy, I'm the owner of the home. Well, we joint own it, but I'm one of the owners of the home. And my name is on the insurance policy, which corresponds with the NPRN. So I've chosen my file. Everything has gone green, and that indicates that I'm good to go. And then I just click upload all documents. Now, I'm not going to click upload all documents because I'm not going to apply for this system. But if you want to apply for the system, you click upload all documents, and then it'll examine your documents and make sure that the documents show that you own and live in your own home. And then if you do, at this stage, you should get approval for the scheme, and then you have to wait. I'm afraid you'll have to wait those maybe 10 months, maybe 8 months, whatever, depending on your home, and then they'll send out the surveyor, and then, as I said, they'll get the work done typically before the end of 2025. So at least you've only one more cold winter to go through in your own home. So with that, I'm going to close out. I'm going to stop sharing, and I wish you luck with the application, and I hope it goes well. And if you are eligible for it, you should definitely apply because it's fully funded by SEAI. Thank you and good luck.